everyone, I am Mary Rose Haosteniaga, and this time I will be talking about development of learners at various stages. Specifically, all about physical development of infants and toddlers. So, this time I will be talking about the physical development of infants and toddlers. So, physical development of learners at various stages. So, in this time, I will be talking about the physical development of infants and toddlers. So, physical development is one domain of infant and toddler development. It relates to changes, growth, and skill development of the body, including development of muscles and senses. So, of course, if I will be talking right now about the physical development, there could be the changes. I will talk some of the changes, the growth and skill development of the body, including the development of muscles and senses of infants and toddlers. So as you can see in the picture, the physical development of the infant and toddlers. So physical development from the start. When healthy babies are born, some of their internal systems, such as their ability to suck, swallow, and breathe, are developed and functional. So I have chosen there a picture wherein a baby is having is drinking milk, or the parent is having a breastfeeding to her child, and you can see there the ability to suck, swallow, and breathe of the baby, of course, and those ability are developed and functional. So to support the best possible physical development, all infants require responsive care from loving adults, proper nutrition, and appropriately stimulating environments. So of course, infants really need to have responsive care from their loving adults, from their parents, from their guardians. And it was so sad to say that some of the guardians or the parents of the baby will not focus on taking good care of their child, and that is why some of the children have late na grow and developed, and when they got to teens now, or at 8 years old or 9 years old, they are very shy, and they are lack of growing because of having not cared by their parents. And then proper nutrition, of course. So babies or infants really need to have to eat healthy foods or to drink milk, a milk that is for baby, not for adults. So appropriately stimulating environment. So infants really need also to have a good environment, appropriate environment. So infants and toddler physical development can occur quickly. So it is essential to understand the various stages of physical development. So as if you have a children or a child, we should understand that there are changes, direct changes of their growth, of their skill development, of their muscles development. So, because the physical development of infants and toddlers really occur quickly, that is why we should understand that there are changes directly on every periods of time. So, from birth, infants want to explore their world. Well, each child has their own schedule for development and mastering new skills. Infants are often eager early on to move their mouths, eyes, and bodies toward people and objects that comfort or interest them. So, at birth, or the infants really want to explore their world or want to explore different things. And of course, as we can observe of the infant or the babies, we can see that at birth at birth, they are already mastering skills, or we can see frequently their eyes will move, their mouths, their bodies toward to the people or to the things that are that they are comfortable with or that interests them. So you can see in the picture that the children or the child is picking some objects that interest her, and then they continue to practice skills and that let them move closer to desired objects. So just like that in the picture. So infants develop a physical from the top down, starting with their head and neck. At birth, an infant has a very difficult time holding up their head because the neck muscles are not strong enough to provide support. So that is why if we're going to carry a child or if we're going to carry an infant, we should always hold up their head because they cannot support their head on their own because their neck muscles are not strong enough. So we should always, if we're going to carry a child, we should always hold their head. And then as infants and toddlers grow, their determination to master movement, balance, and fine and gross motor skills remains strong. Rolling and crawling occur as infants develop skills in using large muscle groups. Grasping and picking up objects with fingers are signs of small muscle skill growth. So the infants are always have a willingness and eagerness, a determination to master movement, balance, gross motor skills are very strong. So they are very willing to roll or crawl, and that will really occur to the infants because they really they have to they really want to explore things. So that is why grasping and picking up objects with fingers are signs to siya of small muscle skill growth. So my instructor also said that if you have a child, let them explore things, let them damage the toys because that's also one of developing their growth and skills. So, examples of physical development milestones of infants and toddlers. So, before I will talk about that, I will talk first that there is no exact age at which all infants should be able to grasp objects or hold up their heads without support. So, there is no exact age because the physical development occurs the physical development of infants and toddlers occurs at different times, so for all children depending on many factors. So the factors may be there are lack of support from their parents, or the child really have a unique characteristics, the family's values and culture, and available resources. So it depends. Their develop and their growth, their physical development and their growth really depends on their environment as well. So however, many infants and toddlers experience developmental milestones at similar times. So that is why as you can see there, the examples of physical development milestones of infants and toddlers, those are the information or the examples of the physical development milestones that are likely experiencing and learning during different periods of time. So similar mo na siya, most observations of infants and toddlers at similar time or at similar periods of time. So not all of the infants that you can see there, the milestones of physical development milestones of infants and toddlers are the same, but most of the infants really have that changes in that period of time. So 2 months, holds head up when on tummy, makes smoother movements with arms and legs, relaxes hands from fists for short periods, grasps adult finger, kicks legs and wave arms while on back. Primitive reflexes present, including the rooting and sucking reflex. So that could be the milestones or the physical development milestones of the infants and toddlers at 2 months. So at 4 months, holds head steady without support. Oh, they could, the children or the infants really can hold their head steady now without support. Brings hands to midline when laying on back, holds and shakes toys, swings at dangling toys, and brings hands to mouth. Pushes up on elbows when lying on tummy, so they can do that already. Some of or most of the infants at 4 months will have those activities or will have those growth and physical development. So at 6 months, rolls from tummy to back and may begin rolling from back to tummy. Pushes arms straight when on tummy. Begins to sit with support. Supports weight on legs when standing with support. Holds a toy in both hands at once. So you can see in the picture that the infants or the babies are they begin to sit with support already, and then holds a toy in both hands at once. So they are holding the toys there. So 9 months. So these are the examples of physical development at 9 months. Sits without support. Moves into sitting position. Transfers items from one hand to another. Stands holding onto adult or furniture for support. Squats to pick up a toy while holding onto furniture. Picks up a toy using fingertips and thumb or pincer grasp. So the child already can sit without support at 9 months, and then moves into sitting position. Transfers items from one hand to another. So you can see there that the children already sits without support, and then they are holding the toys on their own. They can pick up a toy using their fingertips and thumb. And then 12 months. So pulls up to stand and walks along furniture for support. May take a few steps without support of an adult or furniture. May stand alone. Throws a ball with forward arm motion. Drinks from a cup without a lid with adult support. So as you can see in the picture, the child or the infant already have take few steps without support of an adult, and he or she can stand alone. So at 15 months, takes a few steps independently, curls over obstacles including stairs, feeds themselves finger foods, stacks several blocks, makes marks on paper using a crayon. So as you can see in the picture, the activities for 15-month-old. There you go. And then 18 months. So 18 months of the infants and toddlers, they can walk alone, climbs on and off furniture independently, tries to kick a ball after observing an adult, turns the pages of a book, drinks from a cup, eats with a spoon. So at the 18 months of the infants and adults, they could already walk alone, drinks from a cup, eats with a spoon. So you can see there the children or the infants are doing their activities at 18 months. And then at 2 years of the infants and toddlers, they can already kick a ball, walks up and down stairs while holding on for support, turns doorknobs, strings small items onto string or shoelace, runs, jumps with the feet together. So you can see in the picture the the child or the infant jumps with the feet together. So that's it. So must for maybe this is for the parents, this is for the parents or the guardians, that they should remember this or must remember this for their infant or Toddlers. This I get on the vlobsschool.original. Yes, and here are the instructions for um for taking good care of the infants and toddlers. So I include this. When an infant is awake and active, offer tummy time. Lay the baby on the floor on his or her tummy while you interact with the infant. Provide stimulating and high contrast toys or pictures for the infant to look at. So it is not good if you're going to let the infants to watch or to take some high contrast toys because it's not good for them. Remember to never leave an infant alone when they are on their stomach, not even for a second, of course. So that is why responsive care from parents really need the infants really need to have a responsive care from their parents, even when they are having drinking a milk on their own. So you should not leave the infant alone. And hold an infant or dance with a toddler to music. Toddlers can also swing colorful scarves in the air, dance or play maracas while the music is playing. So children or the infants really wants to enjoy, of course, to dance, to hear music. So those are the things that should you remember if you have a child. And then encourage imitation of gestures and other movement experiences in which mobile infants and toddlers can use their bodies to interact and play. So it is better that you will encourage the infants to imitate gestures so that they can understand could that mean. And then have toddlers experience kicking, catching, rolling, and bouncing balls. There are parents that I've known that they don't want that their children or their infants, they don't let their infants experience playing. Okay, maybe the infants will or the children will get dirty or magkasakit tayo. But then it's really good if you will let your children to experience kicking, catching, rolling, and bouncing balls, or letting their toys to broke or to damage, because the children's really love to explore. And then encourage toddlers to scribble on paper with crayons. Yes, incorporate daily physical play into your daily routines. Infants and toddlers enjoy being active. So those are the things that you should remember, because those things will help the children or will help the infants or toddlers to develop their skills, their characteristics. So those are the physical development of infants and toddlers. So thank you so much for listening.